Hey there, this is the Exaltify Me podcast, and I'm your host, Nenad Leonart. Now, today I have a confession to make. I was feeling a little bit under the weather. I got up in the morning and I started to actually reflect on certain parts of my life that honestly have not been really great. And the only person to blame for that, if you wanted to blame someone, would be me. Now, I understood that part of my life, of course, like my early childhood, adolescence, and so on, that wasn't entirely on me. And then at some point, I got to be 18, I moved out of the house, I kind of took matters in my own hands. And at a certain point, I really didn't get that I was growing up. I was still a little bit caught in the whole thing about, other people being to blame, other people being responsible for who I am or where I am on, or I had like bad circumstances, so I would create excuses. Regardless of what I have created, like today when I look back at that time, it was actually a really exciting time. It was a great time. I was able to study something that I really had fun studying. I was able to be surrounded with great people in a country where it was quite peaceful, everything was stable, a lot of good things actually happening. And you would say that that is a very, very good thing to happen to anyone. But it wasn't. For me, it just wasn't. And I realized that today, that when I look back at my life, the older I got, the worse it got. I don't know exactly why. Maybe it's the energy, like me getting older, kind of just losing energy from time to time. I think it's actually really started declining from around mid-20s. And that's what many people describe, like having more and more energy and also gaining more and more skill and kind of like peaking with the growing of the energy and the skill at that age. And then it kind of goes downhill with the energy while the skill can still be refined. Now, many people also say that getting older, it means kind of trying to use your skill and redistribute your priorities, your energy, so that you can actually be more efficient at life, right? If I had the wisdom of a 60-year-old and the energy of a 20-year-old, what could I do, right? So let's look at it, just how it was for me. And like, that's my confession, that it's a confession to myself that I pretty much fucked up. I could have had all these great experiences, all these awesome memories, and the only one person that did not allow that to happen was me. I could have had great stories to tell. And I mean, I still have, right? It's not like I completely ruined everything and it wasn't great. I just see that from all the potential that was there, I used maybe just, 30%. If I was lucky, 40 or 50, and the rest was just potential that never got realized because I didn't have the guts to do it, because I didn't have the energy to go out there and start, or just try it. And for many other things, it was just me holding myself back because I wanted safety, because I was insecure, because I thought that maybe, someday this magical thing will appear and happen to me, and then everything will be solved. Everything will be perfect, and I wouldn't have to, deal with that crap and these negative emotions. So, yeah. Today I got up and I fully realized, man, I missed such a great part of my life. I just saw it pass by me and I wasn't fully in it. I wasn't present. I was tripped up in the past of things that happened to me when I was little, of insecurities, of expectations from my parents, from my teachers, from friends, from colleagues, from partners, from anybody, basically. I was trying to live up to their expectations, and I was basically living a life that wasn't my own. And sometimes I would get these small pieces of getting to be me, and that would be cool. But in general, it was just like this long, long tunnel of kind of trying to get by. And when I remember it, I guess it could have been so much cooler. I could have just squeezed out every opportunity, not like for the getting or for like squeezing it out like in a bad way, but actually just to really, really, really live. To do what life is about, to be present, to be with other people. And I just got lost in my head. I got lost in my thoughts. I got lost in my feelings, trying to project some past onto the future, never really being in the present, always stressing out about. So I was training to be a musician, right? I wanted to do and just bring great music, and then I would be tripped up by these weird things happening and emotions that I would get on stage, and then I would carry out these internal fights, but I would never know what kind of fights I'm fighting, and that was just weird. And I also wouldn't prepare properly. Like, I had this story of the underdog, you know, when somebody wouldn't believe in me, then I would go bananas and I want to show them that they have to believe in me. But when everything was running smoothly, and I remember there was a time where I really had my life together, like half a year. I did exercise every morning. I went to the sauna. I then practiced for like 4 hours, and I did so many good things back there. Like, I was feeling good. I did a lot of progress, both professionally, personally, and then it kind of fell apart when I took on too many things at once. I was too greedy, basically. I didn't say no because I had this opportunity, and jumping onto that opportunity, I kind of missed whatever was going on there. You see, like, just by talking to you right now, I felt like something in me shift. And I just noticed, yeah, this is the life lesson. That's the life lesson that also this other thing, I have this one opportunity jumping at me that I wanted to say yes because, you know, it's like a great opportunity and I should be doing it, but I know I'm not meant to do it. So I'm going to go and say no. Just figured it out this moment. And that is why reflection is kind of great. A reflection in a way that's not kind of tripping, right? Not in a way where you're trying to control every little detail and aspect of your life and just keep everything in check and in balance, you know, and just try to micromanage. It's more about what we talked before. It's about seeing, oh, wait, that is a pattern that I'm recreating again. And this is what I'm doing. So let's not do that because of some traumatizing event in the past. I am my own master and I can actually get to decide what to do. And honestly, I think the first literally liberating moment that I had, that was back in 2018 when I did the death meditation for the first time. Now, if you've heard of the death meditation, you know what it's about. If you haven't heard of it, a lot of people go into defense, or they say like, oh my God, it's creepy, or that's weird, or that's whatever. It's not. Believe me, it's like just make believe or pretend, okay? Many people do not want to accept death, or they kind of push it away, or they want to acknowledge that we are all going to die, but that's kind of the reality. It's neutral. It's not good, it's not bad. It's like all of us, we are going to die. Everything we build is going to be destroyed at some point. Everything we create, it's just passing time. Nothing is permanent, nothing is forever, and we're here to make the best of it. It really took me a while to understand how to make the best of it, and it's a practice I'm still learning and training. I didn't want to do this talk today. I felt, as I've said, under the weather. Part of me went like, yeah, but should you really? You're not feeling your best. Are you really putting out your best this way? And I said, yeah, I want to do this. I want to do the best that I can as of now. Just put my foot forward and be the best me that I can be in the situation. So let's go back to the death meditation. Oh my God, that's creepy, right? No, just kidding. It's not creepy. So why I'm doing it, and I'm trying to do it like on a regular basis, because what it does is it kind of dissolves your ego. How does it do that? Or let's say, why is it good? Well, when you don't have your ego, you're allowed to look at certain things in your life that don't bind you. You're allowed to feel free from certain expectations. You're allowed to have certain thoughts and feelings that otherwise would be repressed. And that's the power of that meditation. So let's see how we do it. We just do a guided meditation. So I did this also later in the workshops a lot with people, where I would just go with them into this meditation, and we would go into the state of imagining like you died right now. It's not interactive. It's like everybody's lying down on the floor, eyes closed, and then you just get to imagine this. And through the guided meditation, okay, there's certain aspects that are being visited. It's a whole process. So just we make sure that all the bases are covered. You get a nice introduction, a nice structure of it, and to also look at different parts inside of you, what gets triggered, right? What comes up? What are maybe the thoughts or emotions or memories that you have been repressing and that are just coming out? And also what to do with them, how to react. And usually like the atmosphere after such a meditation that goes on from roughly half an hour, it is very deep and it's very authentic. You know why? Because everybody in there realizes, I got only this life. And maybe I forgot about that. Maybe I pushed it away for so long. But I got only this one life. And it's the only life I can live. So if I have only one, I want to make the best of it. When I first did my death meditation, I was completely dissolved. Like I was in tears. I was really just so thankful for people that have been in my life, and I wasn't even able to like put that in words for various reasons, but I've never told them. I never told them like how much they mattered to me, how much their love was important for me, how much they gave to me, how much I appreciated them. So after that, I actually made a list of all the people that I wanted to appreciate, and then I wrote to them, or I called them, or it took me hours of after work, and I felt so released. And since that day, literally since that day, I've started wearing weird clothes, like the ones that I want to wear, and not what everybody else expects of me. Keep in mind, this is in Switzerland. This was quite a while ago, so people here did never see anybody dressed like very weird on the street, except for maybe on the nights out or like in the city, but like on the outskirts, everybody's very, very, I don't want to say professional, but kind of prude, they're just structured and everything has to make sense. And if you're being a little bit weird, they will go and call you out on it, or at least you'll feel it emotionally, like, ah. And from that day on, I just didn't give a fuck what they thought of me. I dressed however I liked. I actually started doing more of the things whenever I liked, however I liked. And that kind of a little bit drove me back into life. Piece by piece, I could reclaim. Piece by piece, it just came together. And that's also something what many people report on their deathbeds, People who know that they're about to die, they kind of look back at their life and they see it very differently. There's even a book, I forgot about how it's called, The Book of Death, or something like that. Somebody that went out and collected a lot of data of people who were just about to die and going through this process of like having a different perspective on life. And what they said, like usually they had a lot of regrets of how they lived their life and what they confessed, right? So usually them having these regrets, they kind of just knew, okay, I would live this life differently if I got to have a second chance, but I don't, right? And again, that is because of the ego. Like the ego isn't there anymore. Or if you want to look at it this way, with the trauma talk that we had, trauma is being kept in check by survival mechanisms. So survival mechanisms are these kind of bodyguards that are going to prevent you from experiencing that again, or ever experiencing. It's like an emotion you keep really down below, and then you have this survival mechanism because they're making sure that you survive. Now, when you know you're not going to survive, right? When you know death is at the door, what happens with these survival mechanisms? Where they are not needed anymore, so they kind of go away. So you kind of get to see what was beneath there, and you get to experience it. And you get to see, oh my God, parts of my life, I really didn't live in the way that I wanted to live it. I lived it for other people, or how other people wanted it, or, that's what happens. And so the vision of death can be very liberating. And the death meditation can be even more liberating because you get to experience that dissolution of ego and the access to these hidden feelings and emotions. But then you get to come back and you get to have a second chance at life, which the other people don't, because they're faced in the ultimate moment and they don't get to change the game anymore. But you actually can. And so that is why death meditation is basically one of my favorite exercises so far, just to reconnect with yourself and get to know yourself more. I've done a couple of these last year with people in live workshops, and I'm looking forward to do many more this year in live workshops as well. And there's a huge range of emotions that everybody goes through. And it's just a beautiful thing to behold, like how much just this awareness of what's actually going on helps us to be ourselves, to reconnect, and to just do the right thing. I think it's about that. It's about doing the right thing. It's about living your life. And deep down, you know what's right, and you know how you want to live your life. Making them on a regular basis is also really, really good, because this way you get to go a level deeper and a level deeper. And I usually do them when I also maybe start feeling a little bit lost, or I'm not sure what to do with my life, or I have different paths that I can take, but I'm not sure which one to take. This one brings a lot of clarity, because this one is really coming from the depths. And sometimes it's very clear, and sometimes, clear like which one to take, which is the right one, which is the fake one, and sometimes both are right. And there's no decision to be made because it's equal. So yeah, admitting to myself that I fucked up a lot in my life and that I didn't experience it fully, and I wasn't true to myself, I wasn't true to my being, I wasn't true to who I was supposed to be. Or maybe I was true to who other people thought I was supposed to be. But it's about me. And this is, some people call it like the healthy selfish or whatever. I don't care about that. It's not really selfish. It's just about you being you. And if you are not you, who are you going to be? Who is going to be there for you if not for you? Who is going to love you if not for you? It's always about you. And it starts with you. So do start, I guess, by loving yourself. And this is also part of what we do here. We're kind of on the path to learn how to love ourselves and how to let go of all the things that prevent us from doing so. This was today's episode. This is the Exaltify Me podcast. I'm your host, Nenad Leonart. Take care, and I will see you in the next one.